one thing to say before this starts would be buckle up or strap in or something along those lines, because we've got a casted game of Age of Mythology. It's a ranked game. It will be a 1v1 between Divine as the Zeus. I don't know why, I don't know where that intro was going, but anyway, Divine as the Zeus and John Arbiter as the Amaterasu in the yellow, deciding to stray away from the red that it automatically pits you to go for a yellow. Now, for anyone that doesn't know these players, they're both streamers. John Arbiter is back from wherever he was. He had a little break. I think he has a job somewhere. He was doing something else, and he is back streaming a hell of a lot. And he's made his way to 1840, I think, rank, at least ELO. So that's like top 100 kind of territory, which is pretty crazy for him. So well played to him, and Divine always around those top levels. Now, why did I pick this game? Somebody asked me, how do you pick the games? Is there a rhyme or reason to what you do? And sometimes I just think, this might be an interesting matchup. Now, both of these guys play uber defensive. Divine, if he wants a town center, he will grab it. John, and it basically does every game. If he's playing Zeus, he plays a very defensive Zeus kind of 2TC restoration idea where you spam the restorations. I think Divine is probably one of the players that you can attribute to the restoration nerf, because this guy would spam it like 5 times in one 30-minute game. But we'll see what he does this time. There's no way he doesn't go restoration. That's just what he goes for normally. And then John Arbiter, I played a few games against him, and he plays a playstyle that's very exploitable if you know what you're coming up against. But this isn't what Divine does. He plays his own game, and he won't be exploiting whatever his opponent's doing. But what I mean by that is he sits back and kind of chills in his own base. Sometimes he goes 2TC, sometimes he sits on the 1TC, and you can just find little opportunities to just poke at him and get to wherever you want to go. But normally, John is very good in that late game situation. So what you want to do against him is, for anyone that's around 1800 level, is just kind of just stop him getting where he wants to go, because he wants to get to that late game situation, the same as Divine, which is why I picked this one. Thought two guys that want to get to late game, surely this is going to be an interesting late game, and we do have Minakata coming through pretty early from John. He's just before 4 minutes, and a pretty early advance time, a standard advance time probably for the Greek, with one extra villager, one delayed Athena coming through for Divine. And is he going for a town center? Yes, he is. He's going to be moving all of these villagers over to the wood gold situation. The Jason's going to be looking around the map. The map is Mount Olympus, so there'll be lots of relics to choose from. Player Wood Trickle is a nice one. Villagers regen something per second, and there's 3 relics have spawned all on the top. You zoom out slightly, they're all on one screen, which is pretty crazy. Building hit points is insane for these guys that love to sit back in their own base. Building build time as well, so buildings are stronger and be built quicker. And ranged soldiers' movement speed will snare a target, so snaring on your ranged soldiers, which is going to be nice for either player. Looks like John is going up for a town center himself. 1 on food normally means you're going for a town center, but why I was a little bit confused about this advance time is he's going to have to get 1 villager before he walks over there anyway, which means you could have gone 1 villager later. I mean, it makes very little difference, really. You're just missing out on just a few resources, but we knew this is going to be a 2TC game. Shrine of the Hunt makes any TC just a little bit nicer. We'll zoom back in, so we're not looking at some ants down there. And of course, Divine going to be going for his own town center. We expected this, but Caribou on this side is going to be nice, plus gold mine. And there should be the same on this side for John. Now, do you do anything else, or do you go Heroic Age? First of all, these guys have to scout. Saltwater Spring coming in for John, which means his hunting is going to be quicker. One of the great things about Minakata. But there is no scout coming through for John yet. If we move over to Divine, he hasn't scouted either. This is... they play so similar, it's actually crazy that I think both players are known for this, going for their defensive setups without scouting what your opponent's doing. Both of these players could definitely be hiding an army back there. Something like Divine could be going for some kind of huge Minotaur, hot plate all-in sort of situation. So like even his scout is sitting back, just herding underneath the TC, just not a care in the world about scouting. And then it looks like the Kitsune is going to be over there doing her own business as well. Now, Dojo is coming in for John. Normally, Amaterasu wants to stay in the classical age longer than others. The reason for this is she wants to put on the pressure because she can actually get to her Bushido tiers, and basically building samurais, you can unlock heavy, unlock champion units in the classical age, which means why do you want to get up to the next stage? Only for different units, maybe for your Yumi horse archers or dropping a castle down or something. But if you're just after the upgrades, you can just sit in that classical age. And in a lot of matchups, samurai just archers or samurai Naginata riders is going to be a good option. Even samurai one Yudo, some kind of idea. So I imagine John's going to be wanting to put the pressure on now, at some point. Catacopus or Divine, not yet spotted what's going on. Move back over to this side. Neither player knows. I don't know, I just find it so funny. I'm like the complete opposite when I play. I'm like panicking, like has my opponent snuck a TC and I wasn't expecting it, kind of thing. In this situation, I think knowing the players, you can probably imagine that there is a TC, and look, John does spot that one, and he does also spot the Minotaur, Heracles, and one Toxodyl coming through. I think he spotted the barracks too. Move back over to his perspective. I think he did spot the barracks, yeah. So he knows that that's coming, and then Divine is going to come over here and spot the TC as well. After that, gets his Olympian parentage, so he wants to be at least applying some pressure or getting units out to defend. He wants some presence on this map. After grabbing his second town center, he wants something to do. Whereas John on this side, grabbing his upgrade for the ranged soldiers, are going to be cheaper. And it looks like they're just missing each other. The Divine Catacopus does spot those units going that way. And the samurais are going to be very, very good in this situation. Needs to get away, though. He is very, very slow, this samurai. I think... Oh, there's also going to be a Kitsune that gets kind of wailed on there. I imagine there's some samurais hiding in the wings somewhere. Here they are. They're very, very strong. They are 4 pop units, so they're a lot stronger than they look. But there is a restoration here that Divine can use. Like I said, he loves spamming that out, so I imagine he's going to drop it at the first instance where he even looks like he needs it. One Yudo does go down, Solar Shield goes down, and Divine... Oh, apparently goes through that. Okay, that is something that I've learned today, or maybe that was some knowledge back there that I've just forgotten about. But Divine getting the best of this early fight, not having to drop his restoration, but the bolt cancelling out the very cheap Solar Shield. But the Solar Shield value you get on an early Samurai, kind of crazy. Samurais absolutely slap, and now Divine will be clearing up another samurai. It's like 2 hoplites going down there. It's kind of wild. But Divine doesn't want to overstep. It does have to back up. And John does have to be careful over on this side, because there are some huntables over here. And what do the players decide to do is the question. John's happy to take these scraps when he gets some more units out, that is. Whereas Divine, normally when you go 2TC, you want to get some kind of heroic AG in as the Zeus. It looks like he's spamming units for the time being, doesn't want that. And the reason is the Zeus... Oh, nice Solar Shield coming in, does manage to snipe a couple of hoplites. But the Zeus god powers are very, very strong, as well as having access to Hypaspis and Peltas, 2 of the kind of the best Greek normal standard units. So being able to get that partnered with the bronze or some kind of underworld, very, very good, which is why we normally see the Zeus going for that. But a classical fight Zeus is very, very strong too. I think Zeus is just in a great spot right now, and I think Divine will be spotting the JA villagers. Does notice it immediately though, but they don't have any equipment of the survival, so we'll be going down at least one of them. But the army on this side is gonna be counteracting Divine's one, and 2 villagers do go down. 1 almost goes down on the backside. Looks like John's gonna have to grab some wood instead. But he is forcing this army back. They are faster than the Toxodyls, and the Toxodyls, even though they do counter the samurais, if they get hit by that samurai charged melee attack, that special, they go down fast. It's kind of wild how much damage that initial shot does. But anyway, John is going to retreat, even though I think he can take that fight. Can he take that fight up against Restoration? That's the question. Maybe he can't with these hoplites coming in plus Restoration. think without the restoration, he's in a great spot, but you do have to respect that one and back up just a little bit. Some armory upgrades coming in, so copper weapons, ballistics. It makes sense if you're going into those bushes, because the Minotaur, you can see without ballistics, he can just dodge, weave out the way of those shots. Divine just being so annoying with these units, but you can jump in the sentry tower and kind of disrespect these Toxotes pushing out and do some big damage, but doesn't decide to go for it. The other upgrade, Hunter Strength, coming in as well, so not only cheaper archers for the Amaterasu, but also stronger ones. And this does give extra range as well, which makes your units just that much better against the Toxotes with their few range less than the Japanese counterparts. The thing is that the Toxotes do shoot quicker. That's the benefit of these Greek soldiers there. Just a full spam fest. So just a 2TC classical fight from both sides. Unfortunately, a commoner is going to be walking in the middle. Surprised to see a lot of players don't play with easy military drag. So you can see if I'm the yellow player, I won't be able to drag this commoner unless I just drag her or I hold alt. It's just kind of interesting to me that some players don't use that because it's just OP. It just makes your control just so much easier. But anyway, I'm sure there are benefits to it as well. Nice snipe on the Minotaur, but there is going to be a restoration fight coming in very, very soon. I imagine Divine probably wants to drop that one very, very shortly. Looks like he's holding off on it. Thinks he just wins the fight anyway, which maybe he does. Yes, that's because John is going up to the next age, going through Raijin. Bit of an overstep while spending all those resources to get up to the next age, but maybe not. Divine here floating so many resources, now grabbing some more techs, also grabbing some units that he doesn't have many buildings for, so actually it wasn't that much of a bad fight for John to go for, but the restoration is in, and he did sit in it for probably 1 second too long, but a couple of samurai go down, and that is a restoration gone for the time being. But I expect in 170 seconds that bad boy is coming back. Another bolt, a 55 favor bolt, just taking care of the solar shields. The solar shields are going to start to rack up if Divine keeps using these bolts for them. We very rarely see a second bolt, but to use it, both of them on a Divine shield, which is basically 10 favors worth, plus 5 each time, kind of crazy. Anyway, Raijin going to be in, and there's no restoration to counter that Raijin big Thunderburst. So I imagine John can get a good turnaround on these Toxotes if he goes for it, but he doesn't decide to go for it. And Divine gets away. The hoplites are going to get out. They're tanky enough to survive. They're also fast enough to get out. But the Toxotes are 4 speed. It would do so much damage to those units. But those units are still around. It isn't like Divine's lost them for whatever reason, so you're still going to get the value on them later. I just sometimes think that a tempo swing with something like a Thunderburst can be crazy. So then you're on the front foot, you've got the samurais in your opponent's face, and you can just keep going at them. But maybe looking for even more value than a tempo swing, which it sort of depends what you're after. Some players like max value, but I'm a bit of a tempo fan. Divine, what is he doing with this gold? 2,300 gold. Okay, he just bought food to go to the next stage. Oh dear. Anyway, Eco going down. It's really surprising to me also that players that go for 2TC ideas normally have the worst macro. I don't even know. That's the sort of thing that I do. Well, maybe not 2k gold. That's a wild amount. Also, no wall here is discouraging to me. How much does this wall even cost? It's got to be so cheap. 30 gold. You do, yeah, 33 maybe if you get it in the wrong spot. But 30 gold for a stop for the Raiju raids. I think John should be separating his Raiju out from his army against the Greeks, but Divine can just sacrifice. Not sacrifice, he can just jump inside the town center. I'm so confused about this. Divine just taking every single hit of this. Why is he just not letting the villagers take the hits? It does negative value against the villagers. It takes full damage for the Toxotes, and now they're so low that one Raiju special would be crazy here. It would be absolutely wild. Looks like John isn't paying attention to it, though, and that Raiju is probably going to go down, and a bronze could be dropped at any moment for Divine, but John knows that that could come, and he's going to run away. I kind of just want to wait for that. You wait for the bronze, then go, but I think John's got so much in his queue. He's also got Hanya Mars coming through, getting that life steal for the infantry. I think he's in a great spot to take that fight, though. Maybe not now, though. Looks like Divine is in a better spot, but so many of those Toxotes are ridiculously low, even with the bronze. And John going to bail out of there. The bronze is kind of there to stay alive rather than anything else, which is why I thought he might use it a little bit earlier. Didn't decide to go for it. I love the Miko play, something that these Amaterasu players need to do more, because the healing of these girls is pretty ridiculous. Unfortunately, she does go down, and very similar kind of comp coming through, which will favor the Zeus player eventually, because he can get in the Hypaspis, he can get in Peltas to deal with the counter units on the other side. I don't know who wins in a Samurai versus Hypaspis. Obviously 1v1 the Samurai is going to win, but I imagine in a 2v1, which is 2 Hypaspis would equal 1 Samurai, that the Hypaspis is... They've got to win that fight, right? Even though Samurai are very, very strong. John with a nice bit of micro to get away with these Yumi archers, but the Hydra, is there anything for it? There's 2 heroes, but the 2 heroes can get sniped very, very quickly. Solar Shield could get used on one of those heroes, and this is what I mean by the restoration. It is absolutely brutal, and Divine's just going to sit underneath his town center, doesn't care about it. Onimusha trying to take out the Hydra, but she goes down pretty quickly. And I think Divine just didn't have enough front line. I think that was his problem there. He has so many Toxotes, so many Eltas, but the front line just really wasn't there. And Restoration works better with high HP units, or high damage units, one that can just sit in the face. These low HP units... Oh, a little bit of a misstep from John there, and I think he's going to pay the price. He's going to lose so many of those archer backline, but I don't even know whether he minds. The one thing about having a 2TC, now 3TC setup, is you can swap your army comp pretty quickly, especially as the Japanese, and he's going into Shinobi. I kind of like that against the Toxote ball. The issue is that it forces out Hypaspis from Divine that just absolutely hard counter these guys so badly. They have 19% hack armor, like it's essentially nothing. Castle trying to come up, 17 seconds, 15, 13 seconds on that. I think Divine's going to be able to get his Hydra in place in time, and the Hydra does some big damage to this 7 seconds. The castle will probably go up, but how much HP is it going to have is the real question. But is Divine throwing away too many units? He doesn't have his restoration, but he almost has a second bronze. He's got 13 villagers on the favor. Castle going to be repaired up. I think the villagers just have to sit inside here. The Toxotes can't really deal too much damage to town centers and things. How did the Shinobi work out? I think they just went down. How many does he have? He's got 8. No. They are still alive. And this is their time to shine. Need to take out those slow Toxotes. Come on, Shinobi. No, they're in the middle. I just used my hotkey to see all of them, and I see 8, now 9. I'm like, oh, it's perfect. But they're just not in the fight. Need to get them somewhere else. Fortunately, just the waypoint of the units not in the right spot. But the Shinobi's going to be coming through. And they can take out town centers, but I don't know if this few can take out town centers. Looks like John's clicking on it. Fortified town center as well. Hey, good siege weapons. Do they just take this out? That's crazy. You could also do some dodging back and forth if you really want to. Hephaestus going to be in for Divine. Of course, he wants to get that. Here we go. More Shinobi coming in. We'll be able to deal with that one. On this bottom side, pushing off the gold mine is John for Divine. Divine has 190 favor. Does just spend 30 on Forge of Olympus. A great use of that favor. But it looks like even at 125 and plus 25 favor per recast, Divine still spams restorations. Like, what? There's no way it's worth it. That one where he pushed, it didn't even look worth it to me. He could have done the same thing without the restoration. Anyway, even a bronze is better than a restoration, surely. Like, technically restoration scales up But it's so good early because you get a big heal on your units. You can't afford more units, so it's a big swing. If you use it now, you keep some of your units alive, but you have all these resources that you can spend on units anyway. It's less of a impact at 20 minutes into a kind of boomy game with a second TC grab early on from both players. But maybe there's just something that I'm missing. I think a bronze push in this position would be a little bit better because you can just force your opponent out for a longer period of time than the 5 seconds or whatever it is that restoration lasts. But the Colossus going in, he's pretty big. I think a bronze would be nice here, but maybe we won't see it. To be honest, the real play, I know that Divine likes to spam God powers. The real play is get loads of Colossus. Look at what this guy's doing. It's crazy. John looks like he's overstepping. He's going Takamikazuchi here for the big sword swing. So he's trying to bait, but I think he's doing it slightly early, especially with this Paspis in. I think you just got to wait because there's going to be full iron on the way for Divine. It's going to be very close. What's the full bronze in for John, though? I know he does like to prioritize those armory upgrades. And the Toxotes on the back, they are dealing insane damage. And there comes the restoration. Do you just ignore it, though? Looks like John's ignoring it, especially as Takamikazuchi is going to be coming in. Big sword getting dropped down on this army. Is that going to come, or is he just going to wait? I think he just wins anyway against the restoration. The Shinobis, though, on the backside. There's just not enough of them against the Toxotes with full iron everything. And he's going to save that sword. I like the save of the sword, but John just needs to start spamming some more units out. And he's going to be in a good position, I think. 10-Fisted Sword, which is the Samurai upgrade. Sumo Training, which is the Inventory upgrade. These Samurai are going to start slapping if they weren't already. Very close to free Champion upgrades as well. These guys definitely need to get off the berry bushes, though. And I think John needs an answer for this Colossus. Maybe it's the Asura. The Asura is ridiculously strong. I know getting these upgrades is nice, but it's 30 favor for that one. There was another one. Okay. Goodbye, Azura. Take that with a 60 favor bolt to the dome. Kind of wild. I think John does need to wait for all his upgrades to come in. Iron weapons, iron armor. The sumo ones need to come through. What's this? The Yari Spearman upgrade? That's a weird one to pre-queue. But it's going to be... Yeah, I think he just cancelled that one. See, he doesn't really want those. There's no reason to get Yari Spearman in this position. No horses. You just want samurais and, I guess, Yumi archers. They're a decent backline. Oh, big sword coming through. And those units all go down. A great usage right there. Glad I didn't miss it. It's so damn quick. But we did get a big sword coming down, and now John needs to capitalize. You don't want to run the Shinobis in. This is a mistake. A straight-up mistake. You need to run those around the side, take out the town center, yet let the Yumi archers take down the Hypaspis. That's what you're after. We're getting those samurais in. The issue is that Divine can just spam out units so quick. He's only got 4 of each building, so not that quick, unless he's got all the levy upgrades. There is potential that he does. No, he doesn't have levy upgrades, so John needs to strike while the iron is hot, and the iron is hot right now. He should just keep going. Nice big fortress in the middle for Divine. This map isn't one where you worry about gold starves, especially with how these players have been spreading out. So it's just who can win the fights and who can win them harder. And unfortunately, when you're using a late game Divine Slash, which late game's kind of accelerated at this point, you need to be capitalizing afterwards. Otherwise, it's just, oh, you wiped out a load of units. Well, Divine's just gone, well, I don't really need as many archers anymore because you've just gone full samurai. I can just build Paspis, counter those nicely. So it's a good reaction, to be honest. Peltas on the backside, but does it matter? Samurai's now up to champion as well. But the Paspis, they do just win. They just hard win the fight. It was almost like the Divine Slash was kind of countering what John wanted to do there. Whereas if he would have just went full force against that army, I think the Samurai probably do better against the Toxotes than they do against the Aspis. But, hey-ho. Sometimes it's easy to say that, being, hindsight and also being able to see everything. But anyway, the Yari Spearman upgrade is going to be coming in. And on this side, yes, Divine. Now we're talking 3 Colossus in the queue with full upgrades as well. This is exactly what Divine needs. He's got 21 villagers on favor. That's crazy. Look at them all. He's got 2 temples. There's not enough temple space for these guys. Getting their 0.05, a monument to the villagers worth 21 times. 21 monument to the villagers is kind of crazy work. Oh, he only has silver Colossus. Silver looks cooler anyway. Oh no, the gold one's coming in. Shoulder of Talos. And I don't know if John has enough stuff to deal with these Colossus coming in. I think he's struggling in the fights against all these counter infantry anyway. Silver Colossus going to be slapping those buildings down mighty quickly. Where are the other ones? Where is he sending them? Oh, they're just slowly making their way across. The one downside, if there's a downside to Colossus, is they be slow. The 3 speed in this game, I mean, you can just see. It's just ridiculous. But when they get in, boy, do they get in. I'm surprised at the back temple with Colossus. It's like if you're building mountain giants or something as Norse. You just build a forward temple. Get them in the action a little bit quicker. I guess it did allow them to get their gold Colossus upgrade in. And I just don't know whether John's got enough stuff to spam out here. He's got 11 guard houses, though, so he can spam out archers very, very quickly if he does have the resources. He's got a decent amount of resources as well. What's the gold situation now, though? Now being pushed off some of these fortified town centers. I liked the tower against everything else, but Colossus, they don't care about towers. And John Arbiter does decide that is enough. And an interesting game. The guys do play similar. This 2TC mad classical fight. And if John keeps this up, I mean, he could be a 2K rated player because Divine is, so why not? GG.